Hey friends and family, thanks for tuning in to tonight's Thursday Night Thought. Tonight we're going to talk about the power of acceptance of truth. And that brings balance, and there's a power to that in our lives. And we're going to go way deeper into this. First, let me read to you this week's message. And if you want to grab a pen and paper, it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to do it really quickly. And we're going to bring it in, and it's going to be powerful. So stick around, okay? And the message is this: truth is a double-edged sword. You wield its power. Acceptance of truth brings balance. Therefore, do not force change on what is beyond your power to change, and do not worry, for it will make no difference. Except there is a higher purpose working all things out for your highest good and the highest good of others. Balance. That's the message. So the way this message came in, I finally realized after spending hours with it, is that it's like all these messed up puzzle pieces. Yet, if you put these puzzle pieces together in the right order, it forms this beautiful picture that brings in all this inspiration. So that's what we're going to do right now. And on your piece of paper, I want you to write this first puzzle piece. And it's this statement: acceptance of truth brings balance. So write that down. Acceptance of parentheses truth, parentheses, equals balance. Okay, that's the formula we're working with. It's kind of more like an algebra equation. We're looking for X, right? What's the truth? And the truth is stated in the message, and the truth is this: there is a higher purpose working all things out for your highest good and the highest good of others. Write that down. That's the truth we're going to talk about. And every time I say the word truth, that's what I mean. So acceptance of this truth equals balance, and there's a power to that. And we're going to go deeper. But first, you have to ask yourself, do you believe that's truth? Is that something you can stand on? Is that something you can claim in your life? And if it is, there's a couple elements to this. And number one, the next puzzle piece is truth is a double-edged sword, meaning that if you accept this, it comes in both ways. You accept the good and the bad, the perceived benefit and the perceived liability of how this shows up in our lives, but believing that all things are working out for your highest good and the highest good of others. That's the truth, and it comes in as a double-edged sword. So acceptance of this double-edged sword, meaning acceptance of the good and the bad, knowing that the truth is what you stand on, is what holds the power, that's equals balance. That's where the power's at. And along with great power comes great responsibility. So there's also an element, and it's the last element of this message, that brings in what's the responsibility? What's our responsibility with this? And that's this: therefore, do not force change on what is beyond your power to change, and do not worry, for it will make no difference. And that is the equation. Acceptance of truth, that's a double-edged sword in our lives, equals balance. And we don't upset the balance by forcing ourselves to change or worrying, because it's useless energy. So the visual that came to me is this. Have you seen the movie The Matrix? And the character Neo, and he gets to the end of the movie and he's worn out. He actually looks like he's died. And then he comes back because he was fighting the bad guys, right? He was using all his force. But then he comes back, and basically you can tell he's balanced. He's standing in that hallway. He's an unstoppable force. And without using any effort or any force, he stands there, and the guy shoots at him. And it's that iconic scene where the bullet's coming at him, and he touches it, and he looks at it, and he drops it on the floor, and he looks at him like, bring it on, okay? That's what this message is bringing in, that there is balance, that there is power when we accept this truth. And that is the balance that keeps, I believe, our world in check as well. So how powerful is that? And to be able to apply that to our lives, I want to ask you, what would it look like if you had that kind of faith in this message, in this truth? If you were Neo standing there believing that in your own life, no matter what is going on, good or bad, perceived good or bad, perceived benefit or liability, knowing that this truth you can stand on. And when you accept that, that's your power and your balance. powerful stuff. So I hope you've enjoyed this message as much as I've enjoyed sharing it. And if so, please pass it along. And I look forward to sharing our next Thursday night thought together.